Okay, folks, HatrickPenry here. It is the 11th of November, 2013 at 7:23 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we're all sitting back looking at the effects of Haiyan, Super Typhoon Haiyan. Now look, we had the largest hurricane ever, Sandy. They sprayed that with chemtrails and engineered that. Same time they did Isaac that same year. If you remember, it went across the Republican National Convention to help Obama get elected. We had the largest tornado ever, over a mile-wide swath of tornado, okay? We're having these super typhoons, largest ever before recorded. Now, they say it's climate change is what they want us to believe. Do you believe the government? Do you believe the government? We have evidence of an earthquake and tsunami drill that took place on the day of the Fukushima earthquake and tsunami. If there was an earthquake, some people are saying there wasn't. We know there was a tsunami. We know they possess remote earthquake technology, for General Cohen said that clearly in 1997. In 97, okay, he said even now there are those eco-terrorists who are setting off earthquakes and volcanoes remotely through the use of electromagnetic waves, end quote. General Cohen, 1997. Now, I do not have to understand how the weapon works. I do not have to possess the weapon. I don't even have to know what the weapon looks like, okay? For me to have seen their plans and intentions of wanting to build the weapon and design the weapon and fabricate and perfect this weapon, and then there's a period where nothing happens as they're perfecting this weapon, and then we're getting hit with chemtrails and superstorms and 1 mile wide tornadoes, remote earthquakes, volcanoes going off all over the place. And they're doing a lot of drills, like in Haiti. They did a drill the day before. As I said, at Fukushima, they had at the exact same moment that the tsunami was generated, JNES, the Japanese Nuclear Service, and the NRC were in a tsunami and earthquake drill that took place at the exact same time, coincidentally. Just like the federal building bombing had a bombing drill, 9/11 had Vigilant Guardian hijack exercises, Haiti had the drill before Haiti, 7/7 train bombing had the drill, Aurora shooting, Sandy Hook shooting had drills. Okay, are you guys starting to get this? Now, we have this massive typhoon that, according to this guy right here, targets itself straight for the China/Japan 2013 war game exercises. Convenience, convenience. 10,000 plus people were killed. Folks, I put it to you that the largest countries of this world, China, Russia, and America, I guarantee, they all possess remote earthquake technology. They have perfected the tsunami bomb. They have perfected the remote shooter mind control. Heck, you can buy a kit to take a roach and put the electrodes and put the pack on his back, and you can remote control the roach with an app with your cell phone. Fact. In 1960, the CIA had 2 girls hypnotized, plant briefcase bombs, and return without even knowing they had done it. So if you look, we're seeing a major pattern here. Now, law enforcement has completely failed us. I mean, absolutely failed us. And first they'll say, but how could they have such a big conspiracy and get away with it? They only have to fool the first herd, the mass of people. Sure, on the outside, a small percentage of us know exactly what they're up to, but we can't do anything about it, because within that first herd of massive brainwashed, socially engineered, dumbed-down, fluoride, chemtrail sniffing herd of sheeple, they don't know and they don't care. And you can even tell them and they don't care. They've created this mass of people that are literally robots going about their business, uncaring, unfeeling, unknowing, and that's not going to change. So it's quite easy for them actually to conduct these exercises, to use weaponized weather against us, to use their shooter drills, shooter operations against us. They'll use hoaxes against us. Maybe a shooting didn't even occur, but the first herd, if they see it on TV, they take it at face value. You must understand the manipulation of the first herd, and that includes law enforcement, just like it said in the Matrix. Doctors, lawyers, policemen, carpenters, the very minds of the people we're trying to free. Okay, they're inside and they're brainwashed, they're indoctrinated, they're socially conditioned, they're dumbed down, they have no interest in knowledge, they don't want to know, they don't want to educate, they are falling behind. So it's not that hard to conduct these operations based on the fact that 90+% of our population remains willfully oblivious to what's going on. Okay, so I don't want to hear but how could they spray chemtrails and keep it a secret? Look, they only have to keep it a secret from the first herd, who's so dumbed down and stupid right now. That's not a hard task to do now, is it? They've been getting away with it for what, 10, 20 years now, non-stop, and it's picking up, it's picking up, it's picking up. Now, I can't tell you if China's involved in some of these because a typhoon hit Fiji not long ago, and there was China to offer economic aid. They do this. Right after one that they generate, they sweep in and they offer aid. Right now, you can see with this typhoon, the United States military, just as they did in Haiti, just as they did at Fukushima, they sweep in to offer aid, right? If you cause the superstorm, if you cause the earthquake, in order to make it look like you didn't cause it, you want to sweep in with aid later, offer them economic loans, which later they can't repay. The World Bank will do that, and then the Monetary Fund will seize their assets, and it'll be turned over to the corporations, just as it was at the Indonesia tsunami. If you read Naomi Klein's book on disaster capitalism, you will see that in 2004, the Indonesian tsunami, the corporations were lying in the wait to go in and take over that beachfront property, and that is a fact. Millions, billions are being made. Home Depot's not complaining, okay? Millions, billions are being made. Agenda 21 is being advanced. Folks, if you do not see this pattern, this is not good. This is not good. So I just wanted to, I know we're in a bad way. I know the consortium, that's what I call them. It's a group of corporations that are in bed with the military, the intelligence, the government, the wealthy bankers. These are the ones behind this. I call them the consortium. You can call them the Illuminati or the New World Order, but it's a group of corporations is all it amounts to, and very high-level wealthy people conspiring behind our backs. Look, as far as the weaponized weather, we see their plans for many years. Go to chemtrailsplanet.net. If you don't know about weaponized weather, if you don't know about remote earthquakes, if you don't know about the Project SEAL tsunami bomb, go to chemtrailsplanet.net. If you don't know about the ongoing Russia-American project to melt the polar caps, yes, an ongoing for many years between a joint project, Russia and the United States, to melt the polar caps, go to chemtrailsplanet.net and do some research and do some reading. If you're watching TV, you're falling behind. If you're on the internet and you're reading, be very careful. There's a lot of disinformation. You know, the people we're up against have a lot of money, and they can afford to hire trolls and shills and deceivers and liars online, fake bogus websites, fake media personalities. That is what they're doing, and they're very, very good at it. And it's all, again, hinges, it always, for me, comes back to the fact they control that first herd of people, the masses of people. It's very easy to spray chemtrails over their head when they don't look up. When they don't look up. Okay, when you've dumbed them down to a degree, they don't want to know. They're not interested. So that's what we have to change. We have to replace the media, replace these bogus figureheads, and we have to decide what the topic of the day is. Right now, this morning, for me, it's weaponized weather. They're using satellites, they're using chemtrails, our ears are ringing. I don't have to possess a weapon, nor do I have to understand exactly how it works to see the evidence of their desire to create it, a space of time wherein they do their creation of the weapon, and then the weapon is deployed and you see the effects of it. World's largest tornado here we just had, largest superstorm Sandy, a largest typhoon Haiyan. I mean, it keeps on going, a record 9.0 in Japan, and all of these are generally, there is a drill that happens the same day at the same time or the day prior to that, okay? And so we're not into coincidence theory. We know that's not a coincidence. We know that these technologies are real. You know what, guys? We've been sending them billions of dollars of our tax money they use for black ops projects. We don't even get to know what that money is for. Do you trust these guys? Now, these are the same ones who are taking all this money that 5,198 have not been punished for downloading child porn in the Pentagon, DOD, with your tax dollars, and they never went to jail. They never were held accountable. They were never punished for that. 5,198 still work inside the government. 76 had top secret clearances. 9 had top secret compartmentalized clearances. Folks, they're still there. The child porn watchers who are using remote weather on us. The child porn watchers who are hitting us with remote earthquakes. The child porn watchers who've collapsed our economy. They've embedded in our government. They're embedded in our corporations. They're embedded in the military on the higher levels. On the lower levels, they're brainwashed. They're compartmentalized. They're socially engineered. They're dumbed down. They simply do not know until we teach them, until we replace media, folks. And that's where I'm at. That's where I'm going to end up this morning. I hope you got something out of this little short video. Personally, myself, when you can kill 10,000 people with an engineered, weaponized, intensified storm, when you cause an earthquake at Fukushima, folks, this is worse than Hitler. They have bested Hitler and shamed Hitler. Didn't even compare. We eventually want to gain control. We want Nuremberg-type trials, and we want to find these people guilty, and we want to hang them because this is treason against the American people. It's treason against people of this planet, period. Period. Okay, that's it. HatrickPenry, have as great a day as you can, considering what's going on in the world today, right? Okay, HatrickPenry, over and out. we have evidence of an earthquake and tsunami drill that took place on the day of the Fukushima earthquake and tsunami. If there was an earthquake, some people are saying there wasn't. We know there was a tsunami. We know they possess remote earthquake technology, for General Cohen said that clearly in 1997. In 97, okay, he said even now there are those eco-terrorists who are setting off earthquakes and volcanoes remotely through the use of electromagnetic waves, end quote. General Cohen, 1997. Now, I do not have to understand how the weapon works. I do not have to possess the weapon. I don't even have to know what the weapon looks like, okay? For me to have seen their plans and intentions of wanting to build the weapon and design the weapon and fabricate and perfect this weapon, and then there's a period where nothing happens as they're perfecting this weapon, and then we're getting hit with chemtrails and superstorms and 1 mile wide tornadoes, remote earthquakes, volcanoes. Okay, folks, HatrickPenry here. It is the 11th of November, 2013 at 7:23 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we're all sitting back looking at the effects of Haiyan, Super Typhoon Haiyan. Now look, we had the largest hurricane ever, Sandy. They sprayed that with chemtrails and engineered that. Same time they did Isaac that same year, if you remember, it went across the Republican National Convention to help Obama get elected. We had the largest tornado ever, over a mile wide swath of tornado, okay? We're having these super typhoons, largest ever before recorded. Now, they say it's climate change is what they want us to believe. Do you believe the government? Do you believe the government?